So I like to work with my hands. Whether it's strumming away on a guitar or like twirling my pen in class, it's just a nice way for my body to engage in something even if my mind may be elsewhere. And it seems that this kind of became a fad in like, the last 2 years. We saw fidget spinners, rise, they're completely irrelevant, but people love them. People like to do things like just tapping their feet or tapping their desk. They want to keep something preoccupied. But in my opinion, all of those pale in comparison to one of my favorite hobbies, which is it's not going. It's actually going to be using a butterfly knife. I'll show here. So today I want to introduce you guys to the butterfly knife, some of its unique properties, a little bit of its background and why it's significant to me. So to touch on the origin of the butterfly knife, they came from the Philippines. They've been around a little bit longer, but the modern butterfly knife originated here. They got popularized during World War II. Natives started building them and constructing them and selling them to the U.S. infantrymen when they occupied the Philippines during the war in a small district called Balisong. Conveniently enough, the province where they came from, Balisong, actually shares the name with the traditional phrasing of the knife. It's believed in a book called The Ancient Beliefs and Customs of the Tagalogs that Balisong literally translates from Baling Sungay, Balisong, and it means broken horn, which alludes to the fact that these knives were originally being crafted out of horns of stag and caribou in the Philippines. What's cool is that you can actually find knives nowadays with the handles, the hilts, being made of ivory and plated with gold. So, while we look at the butterfly knife itself, I have one here. It's not real, it's actually just a trainer. You can see it has a dull blade, can't do any harm. But you can see where its English name comes from. It has two handles that kind of look like wings. So why would this be convenient at all? There's no spring loading, it's hard to open, you can fumble around with it. Basically have to do this, and then you're good to go. It doesn't really serve any purpose. Well, if you're not using them correctly, all you have to do is flip your wrist, and you're there. This is because what these handles allow you to do is operate the knife off of momentum. It's interesting, and it kind of relates more to the butterfly thing, that these things can fly around. And so why don't we take a closer look at how we can make that happen. Something's called a latch drop. If you've done correctly, it looks like this. Very easy thing to do, slash to go, and you're able to defend yourself. However, if you just drop the knife, didn't really go anywhere. Why? Well, when I say operates off momentum, the knife doesn't work by itself. Again, it's not spring-loaded. There's no devices in here that allow it to operate without your intervention. So when you're actually doing this, slightest wrist, slightly move the wrist, just swing your wrist open just a little bit. And that's why I love it. You can do mindless things like twirl it around, just with little movements, just like when you're twirling your pencil. It doesn't really take that much engagement, it just takes practice. One of the coolest things I like to do is, hey, I'm gonna throw this. You guys ready?
Yeah.
It didn't go anywhere. What I actually did was I let it go. What's cool is that, again, with the two blades, I let it go, but twirled around my thumb and I caught the other end. So it does leave my hand every time I throw it like this. Like that. Alright, so why the butterfly knife? Why is it significant to me? Why didn't I pick, like a pocket knife or anything like that? Well, I'm Filipino. I don't know if it's obvious, but I'm Filipino. My mom used to tell me how when she was a kid, she played with these. She was actually the person who went to, because they're illegal in California to carry and sell. She went to Las Vegas and she bought me a real knife that I practiced with and I got good with. She told me how I guess she played with them as kids, and that's something I got interested in. It's something that relates to my culture. It's just like with foods, how they relate to specific cultures, whether it's pho for the Vietnamese, or tamales for Mexicans or El Salvadorians. It's something that I could connect with. What's also been cool is that just like me and my family, they've become more integrated into American society and pop culture. The Spy in Team Fortress 2 Hebrews of all song. You see him use it in his trailer. Or if you guys have seen the movie Kick-Ass, Hit Girl. She has a scene where she uses two of them at the same time. So I think that's just really cool that these weird native weapons that didn't really come up until the 1940s have started to become integrated more into like the modern society just because they're interesting. And so, in conclusion, essentially, I just hope that I was able to show you guys why these knives mean so much to me. I hope that they brought a little bit of personality to something that otherwise just kind of looks like a funky piece of metal. And hopefully you guys get interested in using them too. Thank you. Try to figure this out. Now, we're done.
Sure, he can operate a bottle-slung knife, but can't operate a remote.
One of them agrees with me.
Well, Mark, you have a nice personal statement at the beginning and an example that you share with us, and you kind of talk about other people's the use of those fidget things that people were doing, and how people have to have something to do with their hands and their energy. And I thought you did a good job transitioning to your subject and revealing it at an appropriate time. I'm sorry we had a little bit of trouble with the remote, but it turned out that you handled that pretty well. Structurally, I think you could preview, there's a preview. I think the structure could be a little bit clearer, but otherwise everything else seemed really solid. You've got, from the presentations, you are always looking at us, you're always speaking to us. You've got good energy in your voice while you're presenting this information. Even when you have a little bit of awkwardness with the demonstration that you're showing us, you compensate for that pretty well, and you don't stop. You keep going, and so it sounds fluid and like everything is planned, even when there's the occasional mistake. So you're doing a very good job on those kinds of things. Your energy level in your voice is high, and I think one of the things that people benefit from when they do a demonstration speech, especially something that they know and are familiar with, is that it gives them a little bit more confidence, and they know what they're going to do with their hands in this particular case, so you seem more engaged as a consequence. Let's see, no anxiety issues that I noticed. The time, you had a little bit more time. I'm not sure that we were getting the right time signals or not, because you had 7 minutes. Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay, just double checking. I wasn't sure, because it looked like it was a little bit short. I did like the conclusion at the end of the speech, and like I said, there's good variety in the presentation while you're speaking. I don't have a lot of things that I thought that you could improve on. Maybe some more content issues you could improve on, but the descriptions and the interaction with the audience I thought were very effective.
All right. Thank you.